Alright guys, today I'm going to be making a tier list for the best fruits in a One Piece game. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so first up we have the C tier fruits, which is the absolute worst fruits in the game. So at the bottom we have Barrier, and then just a little bit better than Barrier we have Chop, and those are pretty much the only two fruits that are C tier. And that is because Barrier, for one, has really poor damage, range. Nobody really uses it. Same thing with Chop. No one really uses the common fruits. Alright, and then now we have to the B tiers. So at the bottom of B tier, we are looking at Ice. And I have come to this conclusion because Ice doesn't really have any effects. It just freezes the mobs and doesn't really do that much damage. Which is crazy because Invisible is actually better than Ice. And that's how bad Ice is. Invisible is better than Ice because for every island till Marineford, if I get that correct, none of the mobs can see you, so you can literally just start out really strong with Invisible and not be hurt at all. So that's one way that Invisible is really good. And then on top of Invisible is Fire Fruit, because Fire Fruit has decent damage with a burn effect. And then top of B tier is Sand. And the reason Sand is right here is because Sand, it's complicated with Sand because one of Sand's moves is it pulls the enemies towards you, and that's all great, but the one thing is it doesn't give you iframes or invincible frames. So when you pull pull mobs towards you, you kind of die from the mobs being too close to you. Alright, and that's it for B tier, so we're moving on to A tier. Now, at the lowest of A tier, we got the Venom Fruit. And it should be clear why Venom Fruit is on the bottom of A tier, which is because it has decent damage, but there's only two moves. One transportation move and a transformation move that doesn't really buff that hard. But on top of Venom, we have Lightning, which is I believe it's the third best fruit, if not fourth or fifth best fruit for leveling up stats. And it has decent damage that does more than Venom, and good cooldowns, like short cooldowns. Alright, and then on top of Lightning we have the gas, or no, it's not gas, it's Smoke Fruit. I get gas and smoke mixed up. Anyways, with Smoke Fruit, it's basically Venom, but better, since it has a third move, and it has a cloaking move. So basically it's a reskin version of Venom, but better. And then on top of Smoke, we have Light, which is at the top of A tier. If I can get that in front of. And the reason why it got kicked down from S tier to A tier is because of the recent nerf of them halving them decreasing the light damage by half. So if your barrage did 1,400 damage, now it's doing 700 damage per hit on the barrage. Alright, and now at the bottom of S tier we have Quake, and the reason for this is it has long cooldowns, and pretty much that's it. Yeah, the cooldowns on Quake aren't really up to speed on the other fruits, because in the time that it takes for Quake to cool down, you can literally do like 3 times the damage of Quake with another fruit. Alright, and on top of Quake, we have the Gas Fruit, which is a burst type of fruit. So basically, if you use all 3 of Gas's moves, it does pretty good damage. Even higher than Venom or Light. And it also has a disabling move, which it paralyzes any nearby enemies. So that's handy. Alright, and now in front of Gas Fruit we have the Operation Fruit. And the reason for this is because you need to use Room. And Room is it's a big size, but some people can still run outside of it. And Operation is more for trolling people with the amount of glitches or bugs that it has, because you can throw people, you can force people out of like the spawn island. You can make people stuck. I think I said that. And then the damage is great, but not too great. As in, it's doing about 40,000 damage at max stats with the Tox move, and I think 50,000 with the Lightning Shock move, or 40,000, doesn't matter. And then another reason is that the MES move, the Heartsteel move, it's the hardest move to hit in the game, which is even Strings Overheat is easier to hit than MES. Alright, so now in front of Operation we have the Rubber Fruit. And the reason for this is because Rubber is only good for boss grinding. And in order to use it correctly, you need a lot of a big level on Hockey, so you can actually use Observation Hockey long enough to use Gatling and not get hit, because Gatling lasts a long time. But in trade it gets a lot of damage. Alright, now in front of Rubber we have the String Fruit. And the reason for this is because it is one of the best. It's not the best, but it's one of the, like, it's close to being the best for mob grinding and raids. But it's the top tier for S tier. Then we got even higher to the S plus tier, with Phoenix being at the lowest of it, due to it being only good for raids. Because of Phoenix's movement, with the new candy raid, you need that movement to do the raid quickly. Because one batch of mobs could spawn on one side of the map, or of the raid, and then the next wave, it could be on the other side of the map, which it's going to take a long time to get around the cake, because the Katakuri map is kind of big. Alright. Right in front of Phoenix, we have Magma. And the reason for this is because Magma has the highest DPS in the game. Because you can pretty much, with max stats, you can kill Marco or Katakuri in 5 to 8 seconds, more or less. And then it's gonna be good for mob grind, or second best for mob grinding, boss grinding, or raids, or it is the best for raids. Now, for the best fruit overall, like everything, we got the mochi fruit, and many of you guys will be saying, "Oh, mochi is trash. It's garbage. It's like one of the worst fruits in the game." You're wrong. It is one of the best in the game, as mochi is the best for mob grinding, boss grinding, and second best for raids. Because you can use all of the moves in around 5 seconds, which does a total of about 270,000 damage. Of course, with max stats. Why wouldn't you be max stats? And then it has grilled, from what I can tell, grilled mochi and mochi wave has short cooldowns. So you could do a combo of grilled mochi, mochi wave, the mochi anemone, the whatever the barrage is, and then buzz cut. And right after buzz cut, you could do grilled mochi and mochi wave again instantly, for even more damage than that. Alright, that should be it for the tier list. And this is the 6.7, the update 6.75 up of the tier list. And that should be it. I hope y'all have a great day, afternoon, night. And I should see some wonderful comments about what I should change for the next tier list. Alright, and I'll see you in the next video.